You guys knew I was eventually gonna make an Anthony Richardson video. Well, at least the people that follow me on Twitter knew. Welcome to another installment of the 2023 Draft Prospect Spotlight. This time I will cover my QB1 of the draft, Anthony Richardson, probably the most polarizing quarterback not named Will Levis in the draft. There is a lot about Richardson that has QB-needy teams clamoring for him, while also showing things that concern people. And as a guy that watched every college game of his, I can say the hype and concerns are justified. But today I will not only justify the hype, but also help some people feel less concerned about Anthony Richardson as a quarterback in the NFL. Alright, enough chit-chatting, let's get into it. The most eye-popping thing about Anthony Richardson is his athleticism, especially his perfect raw score. He is one of the only 5 quarterback prospects to have that score. That group includes Vinny Testaverde, Brock Behringer, Dante Culpepper, and the guy many people like me compare him to the most, Cam Newton. But Richardson is the only quarterback to have a perfect raw score of the class and a perfect all-time raw score among every quarterback prospect ever. Anthony Richardson's explosion measurements are the best ever among quarterbacks, and that statement is not exaggeration. He has the highest vertical jump ever for a quarterback at 40.5 inches. He is also one of the 2 quarterbacks with a vertical jump of 40 inches. He also had the highest broad jump ever for a quarterback at 10.09. Anthony Richardson's speed isn't as perfect as his explosion measurements, but it is nothing to joke about. His 4.43 40-yard dash is the 3rd fastest ever for a quarterback. He has a faster 40 time than Tim Tebow, Russell Wilson, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota, and Cam Newton. The only quarterbacks faster than Richardson is RG3 and Reggie McNeil. Richardson's 1.53 10-yard split would have been tied for first all-time if Malik Cunningham and Dorian Thompson-Robinson didn't participate. But nonetheless, it's still impressive. He has the same 10-yard split as RG3 and Jalen Hurts. Like I said in the last 2 videos, just because you're athletic enough for the NFL doesn't always mean it'll translate into the league. But Richardson's athleticism helps him out a lot in the pocket, and I have some film to prove that. One of Anthony Richardson's strongest attributes is his mobility, which comes as a shock to no one, but I still want to break down some of his mobility moments since a good amount of these plays help his case as a starting NFL quarterback. On this 2nd and 10 play against Georgia, Billy Napier calls a fake jet sweep with Marcus Berg moving to the right and Richardson just running towards the middle. As you can see, the play is blown up and the Gators will most likely get only a yard on this play. But that is not the case with Anthony Richardson since he is not someone that will go down easily. A couple plays later, Napier calls a zone read on 1st and 10 with Anthony Richardson and Montrell Johnson. Richardson decides to keep it as it looks like Georgia defenders are heavily focused on Montrell Johnson, but these two were able to quickly make adjustments and surround Anthony Richardson, and most quarterbacks would probably get tackled at the line of scrimmage, but not Anthony Richardson, as he is able to cut to the outside and break multiple tackles and keep his balance for the first. On this 2nd and 10 play, Richardson intends to drop back a few steps and wait for someone to get open, but LSU has plans to disrupt that play with a safety blitz involving Jay Ward. As you can see, Ward is in a great spot to disrupt this play, especially with Montrell Johnson not being in a good position to stop him. Richardson is aware of the situation around him, so he improvises. As you saw, Richardson was able to get himself away from trouble and kept the play alive. And you can also see that Ricky Pearsall is open. Richardson sees it too and is able to throw the ball to Pearsall and get an easy first down, all thanks to Richardson's mobility. On his 2-point conversion attempt, Billy Napier is going to call a rollout, but when Richardson completes the process of a rollout, he's going to be met with immediate danger. But Richardson doesn't let the play get disrupted that easy. Richardson was able to break off 2 sacks and stay calm and found a wide open receiver. Of course, breaking off sacks is an easy thing for Richardson. There's so many more plays of him doing that, which should be something that appeals to QB-needy teams. One thing that has some people concerned when it comes to Anthony Richardson is his decision making, as he threw 9 interceptions in 2022. He has an interception percentage of 2.8, which is the percentage Derek Carr and Matt Ryan had last year. But Richardson only threw 7 interceptions in his first 6 games. He was much more careful with the ball in the second half of the season, only throwing 2 picks. Of course, stats aren't everything, but there are some plays that back up the idea that Richardson is not as bad with turnovers as some people think. On this play, Billy Napier will call a drop back pass. As you see, Richardson has great protection and a good amount of time to make the right choice. He could throw it to Justin Shorter, but he has two defensive backs covering him, so not a lot of opportunity for Richardson to put the ball in the right spot. He could throw it to Ricky Pearsall, but Malone Motel was very close to him, or he could run through the gap on the left where there are very few defenders guarding that area. He chose to run through the gap and scored on a very long play. On this play, Anthony Richardson is going to be met with a challenge that forces him to make a quick and careful decision. As you see here, Richardson is met with pressure. His first read, Ricky Pearsall, just finished his route. It does look like he has the separation he wanted, but the defensive back is aware that Richardson is thinking of throwing the ball to Pearsall. And if Richardson were to do that, he could easily get in front of Ricky and make that pick. Of course, Richardson could just put it ahead of Ricky so it's catchable and not near the defensive back. But when you're on a run, it's very difficult to put the ball in the exact spot you want. And if Richardson overthrows him just a little, the safety could easily make a play on it. He could throw it a little more outside to the left of Pearsall, but like I said, it's hard to throw it accurately on a run, and there is another defensive back that can easily pick Richardson off, and he's aware of all of these possibilities. The only chance he has as a successful play is the player right next to him, Montrell Johnson, and luckily Richardson knew Johnson could make a play, and he decides to make the defender think he's gonna run and then give it to Johnson. Now the next two plays I show you aren't really promoting him making a good decision, it's more of plays that show good qualities of decision making. On the previous play, you saw Richardson fool a defender to thinking he was going to run, but this time you will see him fool a defender to thinking he's going to throw the ball to a certain receiver. As you see, Richardson is staring at Kamari Lassiter. He stares at him for quite a bit, and Lassiter stops following Xavier Henderson, thinking Ricky Pearsall, who is running towards him, is getting the ball. This also fools all the defenders near Pearsall, which moves them away from the intended target, Xavier Henderson, and gives Florida a much-needed touchdown. On this play, you will see how patient Anthony Richardson is. As you see, Richardson is looking to connect with Ricky Pearsall in the middle area, but the problem is LSU once again ran a safety blitz with Jay Ward, and no one is blocking him, and there is a gap towards his left that he can run through to avoid the sack. But Richardson not only knows that Pearsall has a better chance than he does to get the first, but he also knows that Pearsall will get to the middle before Ward gets to him. Remember kids, being patient pays off. Another concern people have for Anthony Richardson is his accuracy. I think that is a legitimate concern. There were times where Richardson either threw it over the receiver or the receiver had to make adjustments to make the catch. But there have been plenty of plays that show he could put the ball in a good spot. It gives me more reason to believe that his accuracy can get better. On this play, you will see a great combination of arm strength and ball placement. As you see here, Justin Shorter doesn't have a lot of separation from Jarek Bernard Converse. The best spot for Shorter to have a chance is right here, and that's where Richardson puts the ball for the touchdown. This won't be the only time Shorter gets the perfect pass from Richardson. As you can see, there isn't many spots Richardson can throw it to. It could be placed here, but you would be asking for a pick. If he threw it ahead of Shorter, he would have a difficult time getting around the defender. But if he threw it a little ahead of Shorter at the left, he would have no problem making the catch. And that's exactly what happens. Now that you have seen everything that makes Anthony Richardson an attractive prospect, what team is the best fit for him? Honestly, Richardson can fit on any team, since the NFL is way more willing to adapt to a QB skill set than before. The question is, what team can bring out the best in Anthony Richardson? The Panthers could be a good option with Frank Reich as their head coach. I think he is a better coach than some people make him out to be. I also like the idea of Ben Johnson coaching Anthony Richardson in Detroit. But it's really a matter of if they want to move on from Jared Goff or not in the future. Texans could be a good option too, but I have no clue if the Texans give Davis Mills another chance. Really, as long as he doesn't go to the Jim Irsay ran Colts or the Josh McDaniels-led Raiders, he should be fine. Anthony Richardson's ceiling could get him picked as high as number 1. His floor could get him picked as low as pick number 7. I don't see him falling out of the top 10 that easily. That's it for this video. Do you guys think Anthony Richardson can be elite at the next level? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later. Peace.